the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In this case, luckily, one of Erin's sons, Alexander Laszlo, has some words of wisdom to offer, followed by the author of the Conversations with God international best-selling book series, Neil Donald Walsh, who is a truly deep soul and a dear friend of Erin Laszlo. Then for the big finale, we have the magnificent, breathtaking piece called Bella Gaia, written and composed by Kenji Williams. Thank you so much for watching us today. See you on day 3 next weekend. Until then, stay attuned. May the source be with you.
Hello, my name is Alexander Laszlo, and I'm speaking to you from a bright, crisp, sunny day in Buenos Aires, Argentina, the Southern Hemisphere. What a joy it is to join you today in this event, The Source of Wonder, where we can together reflect on the images of peace and of connection with divine inspiration. Let me start by breathing with you, and the way I wish to breathe is with my old friend here, my flute. Join me, relaxing, opening your eyes or keeping them closed, as best you may wish to flow with the sound. So, breathing, the breath of life, chi, ki, spirit. For me, these are essential aspects of what it means to be alive. Indeed, connecting with Source. For me, it's about how to be a sorcerer. And there's a play in that. There's the magic and the mystery of sorcery, but spelling it with an S-O-U-R. So we're connecting with Source. Some say that the deepest form of Source, the deepest and truest connection, is to love. And that love is the fundamental part and expression and vibration and frequency of all that is. When we connect with and source that aspect of our being, of our doing, of our thinking, with that engagement around the source that is love in the cosmos, in the universe, then we manifest our own expression that inspires and connects. In fact, you don't need to be concerned about why or for whom or how you are doing this. By authentically and with integrity connecting with this source of life-giving energy, you create not just inspiration, but true connections to other beings, other people. You may not know how or even when this connection uplifts and inspires and allows other people and beings to express themselves more vibrantly and more fully in greater connection with Source. But when you trust in this process and you live into this frequency, then you can be sure that it will connect someplace, sometime, with someone or something in a way that will continue to augment the beauty and connection of this universe. One of the areas that I'm most involved in now in my research and my work is what I call how to human well. Thinking of that as a verb. How can we learn how to human with greater love, with greater grace, with greater strength and greater power? But it's that strength that derives from love. It's not the power over, it's the power to dream, the power to empower. This is what comes from that source of love. And when we do that, then we human well. Then we truly are in our authenticity. And there's nothing but beauty that emerges from this engagement with the universe, with Source. So in my explorations of what it means to human well, I have worked with this notion of syntony. Syntony is a word that I first came across in the writings of Barbara Marx Hubbard. When I looked further into it, I found that Teilhard de Chardin had used this concept earlier on as a way of expressing the potential for human consciousness, when it is connected well with Source, to bring forth that greater alignment, that greater coherence with this creative impulse that is the cosmos becoming. Teilhard de Chardin talked about how at some point in the future we would be able to connect with each other without words, because we would be so aligned, so in syntony, that we would be able to read each other's every emotion and attention in a way that allows us to connect. It doesn't mean taking away privacy, it just means truly empathizing in the deepest way that really embodies and allows us to enact that form of love. So when I look at this notion of syntony, and by the way, other authors have worked on this concept as well. Eric Jansch has written a couple of wonderful books on this, Design for Evolution and The Self-Evolving Universe, are beautiful books where he explores the notion of syntony in powerful, more systemic ways, more as a systems scientist. And so what I have done in my exploration, and this may also resonate with you, is to look at how can I bring this connective power, this syntony sense, to Source, to be the sorcerer of this frequency and vibration of love in the cosmos? How can I do that in all the things I do in the world? So for me, this means first thinking, how do I have this sense of connection, this archetypal expression of love in my own being? And that is an exploration and a questioning and a living with and an enlivening in my own being of how am I creating this creative alignment, this syntony with all things. And that's at the intrapersonal. That's in my own being. Emotionally, psychologically, physically even. How do I walk and dance with syntony? At the second level is the interpersonal level. And that's where the syntony exploration becomes one of how do I create these harmonic flows in my interactions. It's like a creative dance with other people, so that we don't step on each other's toes, so that we are listening empathetically and with compassion. So this is another aspect of the second level of syntony. Intrapersonal first level, interpersonal second level. At the third level, we take it beyond the human sphere. How do I interact with a more than human world? That becomes the trans-species level of syntony. How do I learn and listen and be with things that are living in my world around me in ways that we co-emerge each other, so that we create invitational narratives to dance together with the trees and the birds, even with the clouds and the rain. How do I flow? At the fourth level, we bring in our ancestors and future generations. Say, so am I in syntony with my ancestors? Is there a loving, resonant connection that connects through my heart to the hearts of all my ancestors in a long lineage behind me? And am I being a good future ancestor to those who are not yet born, right now? Because one day I will be their ancestor. So how am I now already being a good ancestor for them? And at the fifth level of syntony is the pan-cosmic. And this connects me to this larger creative narrative. It connects me in a way that invites an unconditional love and trust in the bigger narrative of being and becoming that is the universe, that is the universe story. And when I realize that I'm part of such a magnificent story, it helps me in all the other 5 levels. Indeed, the ways to get to the pan-cosmic sense of syntony often are through meditation and through mindfulness and through presencing. And those are practices at the first level. So you see, this is all really a circle or a sphere of spheres. The intrapersonal, interpersonal, trans-species, transgenerational, and pan-cosmic sense of syntony. And again, syntony, this creative aligning and tuning with the flows of being and becoming all around us that is sourced in love. This, I think, is for me a beautiful practice in waking meditation and also in quiet or sitting in still meditation. In other words, it's a way of dancing through life. It's a way of playing the flute. But you know, more than dancing and more than playing the flute, it's about being danced. Because when you dance, you're trying, you're efforting. And truly, when you are sourcing love, there is no need to try. You are in flow, and you are being flowed. For me, this is the highest art of humaning. The great Persian poet of the 14th century, Hafiz of Shiraz, said, I love this quote, he said, I am the hole on the flute through which God's breath blows. I am the hole on the flute through which the universe expresses. Imagine, he didn't say, I am the flute, I am this instrument. Many people say they are the instrument, but that gives you such agency and such a sense of importance. Being the whole, you are that living potential, that space of possibility, that allowance for being danced, for being played. If you block the whole with your intention, with trying, then ego gets in the way. Then you think you know what you should be saying or doing. But when you allow yourself to be flowed, when you're connected through love, then nothing can go wrong. Because eventually it will connect. Because this is the language of the universe. So here, I leave you with these thoughts, and I hope that they serve you as they continue to enliven me and to connect me with all things that emerge and that create thriving, vibrant, possible futures. Together, I hope we can do this. Indeed, I know we can.